Coaches, welcome fans of both teams. Welcome to Jackie Robinson Ballpark for Game 1 of the tonight's exhibition match between the University of South Florida and your Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats. Start 11 for the rules.
Reverb action.
Like I went up to watch Florida game. Like my friend so like they do the whole like court spotlight. The court like has a video like all the projectors thing.
Yeah, like the USF. I was surprised that no one was there.
There was nobody there when I was, but it was like a 15 game against Booster.
That's all I know. It was like a Wednesday night game.
And now for your Bethune-Cookman University Wildcats. Batting first, second baseman, number 5, Luis Tuero. Batting second, left fielder, number 34, Garrett Sean. Batting third, right fielder, number 4, Island Hall. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 35, Boris Pena. Batting fifth, designated hitter, number 31, Robert Moya. Batting sixth, catcher, number 22, Irvin Escobar. Batting seventh, shortstop, number 25, Jared Garcia. Batting eighth, third baseman, number 13, Brian Torres. Batting ninth, center fielder, number 9, Willie Stevens. Starting pitcher for your Wildcats tonight, number 20, Alec Midday. May you all please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, live from an overcast and hopefully not rainy Jackie Robinson Ballpark right here in downtown Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the Cat-Eye Network. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company and also happy to have the company of Bryce Hoynowski for this, the second to last non-conference home game of the season.
Yeah, Mike, you know, we've seen a bit of a mixed bag in midweek contests for the Wildcats to start this season. Some early season struggles, particularly on the road against some tougher non-conference opponents, FIU, FSU, the like. But they've seen some success, especially at the plate over the last week or so. And we're looking to see the Wildcats continue that trend tonight. A little bit of adjustments to their practice schedule, some difference in change in approach at the plate. We'll see if it pays off for BCU tonight.
The Wildcats are certainly riding high. They've won their last 4 straight and 6 of their last 7, including a series win over Alabama State and a series sweep against Mississippi Valley. Tonight, the South Florida Bulls are in town. They're just 2 years removed from a super regional appearance, but have started this season just 9-16 and have come off of a losing weekend against the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth. They will be using this game as a tune-up for their first conference series of the year next weekend as they play the University of Central Florida for one of the final times as a member of the American Athletic Conference as the Knights head off to the Big 12 next year. The starting lineup for South Florida looks like this. John Montez leads off and plays second base. Eric Snow bats second and plays short. Drew Britcher bats third and plays center field. Daniel Cantu is in right field, bats fourth. The first baseman, Rafael Betancourt, bats fifth. Travis Sankovic is the third baseman. He bats sixth. Marcus Brodell is the designated hitter, batting seventh. Jackson Mayo is the left fielder, batting eighth. And Nelson Rivera is the catcher, batting ninth. Here's the first pitch, outside, ball one to John Montez. He's got the best batting average on this Bulls lineup, a .315 hitter. He hits this one high in the air to left. And it is going to get down and hop over the wall for a ground rule double. And we've seen that a lot in this ballpark over the past week or so.
No doubt, Mike, not the start you're looking for if you're Alec Mendez, but I'm sure as we'll get into, a guy coming back from a hamstring injury that he sustained early on in the season. He's been throwing 3 or 4 bullpen sessions now leading back up to this. He's a guy that figures to potentially be a very critical part of the weekend squad for the Wildcats, whether it be out of the bullpen or on the mound to start.
So here is Eric Snow. He's got the hottest bat as of late for South Florida. The pitch from Mendez, the lefty, right in there for a strike, 0-1. Snow, a .308 hitter, 12 runs on 24 hits, 3 homers, and 18 RBIs. Alec Mendez gets the start today on the mound for Bethune-Cookman, only his second appearance of the season, as you mentioned, after sustaining a hamstring injury in the first series of the year against Lehigh. Here's the pitch. Line to left field. There's a base hit. Tracked down by Chun. Montez holds at third. And there's runners on the corners with nobody out.
2 pitches, 2 hits for USF. Seen the ball well to start.
Now here's Drew Britcher. Britcher, the junior, batting .301, has the second most plate appearances on this Bulls roster at 103. 31 hits, 16 runs, 2 homers, 13 RBIs, and a chance to get the Bulls off to a very hot start in this one at the top of the first. It is hot and humid as well as overcast here. Foul tip into the glove of Irvin Escobar. Here's the defensive lineup for Bethune-Cookman. Garrett Chun in left, Malik Stevens in right, in center, Highland Hall in right. Perez, Garcia, Tuero, and Pena across the infield left to right. That's no change from the weekend series against the Delta Devils. Escobar behind the plate in replacement of George Perceris, who is still out with an injury, although it is not as bad as we feared. It's not a broken hand. It's just a contusion. We expect Perceris to be back before the end of the season. And, of course, Alec Mendez is on the mound. Count 0-1. They throw over to first and catch Snow in a rundown. And he is out.
We've seen this Wildcat starting rotation or pitching staff in general be very cognizant of the runner over at first. A lot of checkdowns over the weekend. A lot of, it's really been a factor in the way that they've gone to the plate out of the stretch, but we see it work out there well.
Now they catch Snow in a rundown, and now there's one away with Montez on third. Butcher still at the plate in an 0-2 count. Mendez deals outside looking for the swing, 1-2. Mendez has played 3 years of Bethune-Cookman University baseball. Got here in 2019 as a freshman. And played at Miami-Dade College as this one is hit high in the air to center. Stevens going back towards the track. He reaches up. He makes the catch. Tagging from third is scoring is Montez, and it's 1-0 South Florida, but that could have been a lot worse if not for a nice catch by Malik Stevens.
It's always dangerous early in games when you see contact off the bat of the hitters like this. We haven't seen anything soft hit. It's all been very well hit. This one deep to the warning track in center could spell danger if Mendez can't settle in quickly.
Now 2 away, and The Wildcats now really lucky that they caught snow on the base paths. And the first pitch to Daniel Cantu hits him. And he's on first base, so a runner on with 2 down. I didn't even get to Cantu's numbers. We'll get that next time. Back on Mendez, he played at Miami-Dade College with BCU opting out of the 2021 season due to COVID, although he did not play at Miami-Dade due to Tommy John surgery and then came back to BCU to finish his degree over the last 2 years. He's a senior this year. And the first pitch is hit on the air, in the air to center field. It's shallow. Stevens racing on. He can't make the play. Going to third is Cantu, and it's a base hit for Rafael Betancourt. And once again, the Bulls have runners on the corners.
And, Mike, I'm not sure how well it translates through the broadcast, Mike, here, but another hard hit ball got under it just a hair. Koso kind of kept it in that shallow outfield, but the Bulls are seeing the ball very well. Not a lot getting by them from Mendez to start.
Here's Travis Sankovic, a senior batting .273, 9 runs on 11 hits. No homers and 8 RBIs. First pitch in there for a ball. Last year, Mendez 0-4 with a .657 ERA, although he did face a murderer's row. LSU, UCF, and others. I don't think he played a mid-major or lower team last year.
Mendez really is a great story for the Wildcats. Longest tenured guy on this roster. He's been through a lot. He's MEAC breakout pitcher of the year back in 19.
Hit high in the air. In foul territory on the first base side. Pena calls off Escobar and makes the catch. No runs, 3 hits. Or sorry, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 left. And the Wildcats escape a lot of damage in the first, but it's still 1-0 Bulls with BCU coming to bat right here on the Cat Eye Network. To the bottom of the first we go, and freshman Lawson Gailey toes the rubber for the South Florida Bulls. The former Georgia High School 3A Pitcher of the Year at Franklin County High School will face Luis Tuero to begin the inning. Wildcats down 1-0. Tuero, one of 6 Wildcat hitters batting over 300. He leads the way with a .351 average. No, correction, Highland Hall's a .354. So he's second on the team with a .351 average. 18 runs on 33 hits, no homers, 16 RBIs. He's a guy that'll get you good contact, get on base, great leadoff hitter.
6 RBIs for him in the last week of play, starting with last week's midweek rout of Stetson.
And he hits this one foul. The count quickly 0-2. Gailey is 0-2, 2 starts and 6 appearances in 16 innings pitched. He's given up 14 runs on 21 hits. There's a ball, and the count 1-2. 14 runs, 8 earned, 12 strikeouts, and 8 walks, and he's hit 2 batters. And Tuero hits this one high in the air to shallow right. The center fielder, Butcher, moves over and makes the catch, 1 away.
You know, Mike, to start this season, the Wildcats would traditionally take Monday as their off day following a 3-day weekend series. But following some changes in schedule with the South Carolina game and some of the other adjustments that saw them off on Sunday, they've been practicing on Mondays for the last few weeks, and we've seen that translate really well into some great hitting ball games at Jacksonville, at Stetson. Done that again this week. Very interesting to see what kind of performance at the plate we see from BCU tonight.
The Wildcats have scored a lot of runs on this homestand. This is Garrett Chun. Count 1-1 after he fouls it off. Scored 7 against Jacksonville. Unfortunately lost that game, 8-7. Scored 14 runs across the Alabama State series. This one high in the air to right. Cantu moving over 3 steps from the track makes the catch, 2 away. And then 13 against Valley on Friday, 6 against Valley on Saturday, and 12 on Sunday.
Of course, Mississippi Valley isn't necessarily a line that you put a ton of stock into. Just, you know, their pitching staff has struggled to start this season. But we know from watching this Wildcats pitching staff in particular that if the bats can ever stay competent on a night-to-night basis, this team is going to be a dangerous one.
First pitch, a fastball strike to Highland Hall. He's got the best average on this team at a 354 clip. 19 runs on 28 hits, 1 homer, and 13 RBIs. And that one bounced to the plate from Gailey, and it's 1-1. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball slider outside corner, 2 strikes on Hall. Gailey has started against Florida Atlantic, and he drills this one to the third base side. Sankovic fields and fires, and Hall is out by half a step. 1, 2, 3, go the Cats. We go to the second inning of play. It's 1-0 Bulls right here on the Cat Eye Network. To the second inning we go. It's 7-8-9 for South Florida after they sent 6 to the plate in the first inning, scoring run on 3 hits. First to the plate is Marcus Brodell, the designated hitter. Only batting 190, that's the lowest on this Bulls starting lineup. He chops this one to first. Tough play for Pena, but he takes it himself, and there's 1 away.
Nice to see Mendez finally getting a handleable ground ball. Work some weak contact there. He's always going to be a pitch-to-contact guy, so looking for him to succeed some more tonight.
Here's the left fielder, Jackson Mayo. Mayo batting .224 with 11 runs on 15 hits, 3 homers, and 14 RBIs. Outside corner, ball 1. Our umpires today behind the plate, Terrell Poole. At first base, Casey Sanchez. And at third base, Ed Mahoo. Couple of familiar names, couple of non-familiar names to us so far this season. High in the air to right field. Hall moves 3 steps to his right, lazily makes the grab, and there's quickly 2 away.
More hard contact for the Bulls, but a manageable one for Highland Hall.
Here's the 9-hole hitter, Nelson Rivera, the catcher. He's batting .265, 4 runs on 13 hits, no homers, 5 RBIs. This is only his 15th game appearance of the season. And I was told before the game that he will not play the entire game. He'll be swapped out for likely Ben Rosenblum at some point behind the plate. Swing and a miss, breaking ball from Mendez. And it's 0-2.
Mendez, a really well-liked guy in the dugout. Really great story, like we said. Coming back from that Tommy John surgery, last season his first appearance was against LSU, worked a no-hit appearance.
Rivera stays alive, fouls it back to the screen. And Mendez, a guy, as you said in the pregame, that could very well crack the weekend SWAC rotation towards the end of the season if he continues his upward trajectory. Here's the 0-2. Hit off the end of the bat to shallow right. Hall moving in. And again, lazily sticks up the glove to end the inning. No runs, no hits, none left. And we quickly go to the bottom of the second. It's a 1-0 ball game. Bottom of the second we go. Wildcats trying to claw back a 1-0 deficit against the South Florida Bulls. Here's Boris Pena, who along with Robert Moyer are probably the 2 hottest bats for the Wildcats at the moment. Pena swings at the first pitch and chops it foul right at Carballo at third. In the third base coach's box.
Saw Boris Pena last weekend hit just about one of the longest home runs you'll see here at the Jack to dead center off the batter's eye.
Into the wind, too. Breaking ball, strike, caught the upstairs and inside corner from Gailey. And the count quickly 0-2. Gailey winds and fires outside batter's box. 1-2.
Boris Pena, a guy who's really been given the nod as an everyday starter because of his bat, has been a real workhorse for the Wildcats. First base, left field. He's probably spent some time catching now with the injury to George Braceras.
And we might see him catch tonight depending on how the game goes. Wouldn't be surprising to me. Here's the 0-2. He flings his bat, and it gets caught up in the netting above the Wildcat dugouts. What?
You know, you do see something every night you come to the ballpark, you see something new. I'm sure that's had to have happened before, but I don't really know what the strategy is going to be to get that one down.
I have watched hundreds of baseball games in my life at this ballpark. I have never seen, I'm not sure if you can see on the camera. You probably can't, but the bat is stuck halfway up the netting on the first base side above the Wildcat dugout. Pena strikes out, by the way. Here's Robert Moya. Moya first pitch ball, and the second pitch is low for ball 2. Moya hitting .321, 19 runs on 26 hits, 2 homers, 16 RBIs. He hit, again, one of the longest homers you'll see out of here. He chops this one to short, into the glove of Show, and there are 2 away.
It'll be interesting to see, Mike, as these Wildcats hit the road for nearly a month after this coming weekend. If bats like Moya and Pena can really start to rack up some home run numbers away from what's usually a really tough place to hit them out.
So to finish my Moya story, as Escobar comes up on Sunday against Mississippi Valley, he hit a home run in the second inning that clanged off the metal roof of the batting cages. This one, first pitch swinging from Escobar, hit out to center. Butcher doesn't really even have to move to make the catch. 1, 2, 3. Go the Wildcats for the second straight inning, and we go to the third. It's 1-0 Bulls. To the top of the third we go. Bulls will have 1, 2, 3 in the order coming up. Montez, Snow, and Butcher.
Number 0, John Montez.
Here's Montez, who hit a ground rule double on the first pitch of the game his first time up. Ended up coming around to score on the base hit from Rafael Betancourt. And inside and hit him. And that's the second hit by pitch delivered by Mendez today. Second walk overall. First inning hit Cantu with a pitch. Also a lefty.
Number 3.
Bullpen starting to rustle over there for the Wildcats.
And with BCU having 2 days of rest before Florida A&M comes to town this weekend, I guess you can't afford for this to be kind of a bullpen game. This ball bunted. Perez scoops it as he charges in from third and makes the throw to get Snow out at first. Sacrifice bunt advances Montez to second, and here's Drew Butcher. Butcher flied to center his first time up, missed a home run by about 2 feet, and I apologize for misspeaking earlier. That was the RBI that scored Montez. First pitch, breaking ball, low, ball 1. Butcher, a junior from Lakeland, Florida. A former Lakeland Dreadnought. One of the coolest high school mascots you will ever hear. And a football powerhouse here in the state of Florida. Won another state championship this year. Mendez looks back, the runner at second. 1-0 breaking ball, catches the outside corner, 1-1. Drew Butcher entered the 2023 season rated as the #1 draft prospect in the American Athletic Conference and number 21 overall by D1 Baseball. The 1-1, outside, 2-1. Freshman All-American back in 2021 and preseason All-AAC first team the last 2 years. Led the Bulls in homers a season ago. Here's the 2-1. Inside hit him, and that's his third. And I don't think Mendez will be in the game for long.
More than anything with a guy like Mendez, or anyone for that matter, you want to make sure you don't shoot the confidence too much. Coming back from that injury, he's had to deal with a handful of them throughout his career. You don't want him to sink too low, at least within his own head. Make sure he treats off the mound with his head held high as much as possible.
Now 2-on-1 out here is Daniel Cantu. Got hit by a pitch his first time up. Cantu, a redshirt junior from Jacksonville, so not playing too far away from home tonight. And he was the most outstanding player in the 2021 American Athletic Conference tournament, a tournament that the Bulls won and advanced to the national playoffs. And also, that 2021 Bulls team went to a super regional up the middle. Nice diving stop by Tuero. 2-second, and he's safe. Butcher is safe going from first on the fielder's choice from Cantu, and the bases are loaded up with one away.
Credit to Luis Tuero there. Probably saved a run at that diving play. So that sneaks into the outfield. You can pretty much guarantee that the runner at third, Montez, scores.
Here's the freshman first baseman, Rafael Betancourt, singled in the first. He's even playing closer to home than Cantu is. Played at Deltona High School, about 40 minutes away from here.
We really are spoiled with all the baseball talent in this state.
Last year, the Florida Athletic Coaches Association for a Player of the Year. His high school stats look like you're playing the show. Batted .470 with 16 doubles, 3 triples, and 5 home runs. The 2-0, foul back to the screen, 2-1. Bases loaded, one down here in the third. Wildcats trying to get out of another jam like they did in the first with minimal damage. Mendez delivers. It's hit off the inside of the bat, long down the left field line, and it's foul. Sliding into the fence to try and make the play is Chun. He's slow to get up, but eventually does make his way back to his position. And we would have liked that catch. It would have been a very tough play, sliding in foul territory.
Long run for Chun. It's always a little scary to see guys sliding on the turf. We just know in the past on turf fields how that tends to end up, but Chun's back up and looks no worse for wear.
Mendez hasn't struck anyone out yet today. And he's got Betancourt staring at a 2-2 count. The pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, 3-2. And Mendez, unfortunately, just a little bit inconsistent in his first start in almost 2 months. Here's a 3-2. Fastball laced to left. Coming in is Chun. He makes the catch, and it's shallow enough to hold everybody.
Another ball well hit by the Bulls. Mendez tonight has either missed somewhat of an uncompetitive pitch or missed right down the middle. And that's another one that's worked out in his favor. Chun able to get in on that one. Still some hard contact.
Everybody on the Bulls team, with the exception of maybe Marcus Brodell in the last inning, hit the ball very hard. Now with 2 away and the bases loaded, here's Travis Sankovic. Popped out to the first baseman his first time up. First pitch from Mendez. Breaking ball strike across the plate. And the count 0-1. Sankovic, a redshirt senior from a little bit farther afield, Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Chops this one to first. Pena takes it himself, and the Wildcats get out of the jam. No runs, no hits, bases left loaded. And we go to the bottom of the third, still just a 1-0 Bulls lead.
Nope.
To the bottom of the third we go. Wildcats looking for their first base run of the game. They've gone up 6 down so far. Here's Jeremy Garcia in to face Lawson Gailey.
Jeremy Garcia.
Gailey's only thrown 20 pitches so far in a very efficient day of work to this point. Garcia, fastball strike outside corner, 0-1. Garcia, the sophomore from St. Cloud, Florida, and Harmony High School.
Quietly been a real unsung hero in this Wildcats lineup to start the season.
Swings and misses at that one in the dirt, 1-2, especially defensively. Really enjoyed his play at shortstop so far this season. And he takes strike 3, looking on the inside corner, second K for Gailey. Last note about Garcia. He's kind of penciled in himself into that everyday role as a starter at shortstop, and he's hitting .310 as well.
Not to mention the 3-run home run against Alabama State a couple weekends ago that was the decider on a Sunday series victory.
Grounded foul outside of third. First pitch swinging for Brian Perez. Perez, lowest batting average on the team at a 130 average. 4 runs on 3 hits. No homers, 4 RBIs. He's only appeared in 7 games this season. Strike fastball on the outside corner, quickly 0-2.
Perez, a guy opened the season, still kind of rehabbing from some lingering injuries from a season ago. He had to step in when Colton Olson dealing with some issues over the last week or so. So it's a credit to him for holding down the hot corner and keeping things moving while we wait on Olson to get back. Perez is a guy who will find his stroke eventually.
Breaking ball misses inside. And Perez has battled his way back to a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Foul back, and the count holds. Brian, a senior from Miami. And he goes down swinging. Third strikeout of the night for Gailey. And now here is Malik Stevens back in the lineup. After being swapped out for Jeremiah Guzman against Mississippi Valley State. And he hits this one high in the air to left, not deep. First pitch swinging. Moving over, Mayo makes the catch, and the Wildcats have gone down in order in the first 3 innings. No runs, no hits, none left. We go to the 4th, and it's still 1-0 Bulls. Marcus Burdell is back to start the 4th inning. Grounded out to first in the 2nd. New pitcher for the Wildcats is Santiago Gomez. His first delivery of the game is a strike. Fastball outside corner. Gomez, 0-1. 5 appearances with 4 starts with 11.68 ERA. 12 and a third innings pitched. He's given up 17 runs on 20 hits, 16 earned. Struck out 18 and walked 6. The 1-1 hit off the end of the bat foul, 1-2.
I think it's the right call by Wildcats head coach Jonathan Hernandez to pull Mendez after the couple of innings we've seen here. Impressive to get out of that bases loaded jam. Keep that confidence up as much as possible, especially if you figure
Swing and a miss. First strikeout for the Wildcats as down goes Burdell.
Of course, we've seen Gomez on both sides of the coin for the Wildcats, getting a lot of those tough luck starts against Florida State and FIU. But we've also seen some strong outings from him. Against Jacksonville, he only allowed 2 earned runs in 5 innings, only 1 in 3 innings against Stetson.
He's been the midweek guy for most of the season, and he probably would have started tonight if Mendez was not healthy. The 1-0, outside corner strike, 1-1. This is Jackson Mayo, fly to right, his first time up in the 2nd. Mayo, a sophomore from St. John's. And he hammers this one to right. Going back Hall, he makes the catch as the wind, which was blowing out that way, has just stood completely still. Flag not moving at all.
That might be the first time this season, Mike, I've seen a still flag out there in center field. We have seen it ripped to just about every direction except for maybe right at the press box.
And it was doing that a little bit on Friday night as well. First pitch upstairs, ball 1 to Nelson Rivera. Fly to right his first time out as well. Rivera swings and misses, and it's 1-1. Rivera Jr. from Toa Alto, Puerto Rico. Leadership Christian Academy product in high school. Looks at strike 2 right down the middle. Has not played since the 17th. That one's downstairs. Count 2-2. It's been a couple of days for Rivera. He is in a very similar situation to Mendez. He was injured and is working his way back. Hits this one foul, and that will make the river. Add another one to the riverbed over there.
Baseball graveyard.
He's on the Buster Posey National Collegiate Catcher of the Year watch list, is Rivera. So highly rated. He barely catches up to that breaking ball and stays alive at 2-2.
Gomez on the hunt for strikeout number 20 of the season. Through about 13 innings of work. He's been known to get some punch-outs.
He's a guy that really attacks the corners, especially the outside corner with the slider. Here's the 2-2. Went back to the fastball, and it gets hammered a mile high to left. Calling off Chun is Stevens, and Malik makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Bulls. And we go to the bottom of the fourth in a 1-0 game. Back to the top of the order for the Wildcats as we go to the fourth. As they went down 9 up, 9 down in the first 3 innings. Here's Luis Tuero. The good news for the Wildcats is mostly they hit the ball, put the ball in play, swinging a lot early in the count. Tuero flied to center. Second time facing the righty Lawson Gailey. And he deals, hit off the end of the bat towards short and past the glove of Montez. And there's a first hit of the game for the Wildcats, and Tuero is aboard.
Wildcats continue to be very aggressive at the plate. We haven't seen a full count worked yet tonight for BCU. Come out swinging just about up and down the order. Everybody is coming out firing. It worked out there, but it's an interesting approach for the Wildcats.
And now, down by just 1 runner on, nobody out, you want to see if the Wildcats will maybe try to apply some small ball here. As here's Garrett Chun flying to right his first time up. Tuero takes the lead off at first. Swearing to bunt and laying down a beauty is Chun. He is going to be safe at first.
Small ball it is, Mike. About a perfect bunt right down the third base line. Wildcats saw a lot of success with small ball last season. A lot of stolen bases, a lot of hit and runs, a lot of bunts like that one. Sometimes that's all you need to get a little bit of a rally going.
This year, not as much on the steals department. Only 12 stolen bases and 15 attempts for the Wildcats. The Bulls, not even less prolific, only 4 of 11.
I think for the Wildcats, that's something to say about the depth of the lineup. They don't feel that they need to manufacture runs quite as much as maybe they did a season ago. They've certainly got some athletes who are capable of steals.
Here's Highland Hall, and Hall will call time and walk out to talk to Coach Caballo. I wonder if they're thinking about bunting again. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I'll take Highland Hall as one who enjoys a bunt, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes, push one across early.
We'll see if the corners play in even farther. They're already touching the infield grass, leaving plenty of room down the lines for Highland if he wants to go that approach. Gailey looking at his first 2 base runners of the game, and Hall squares to bunt. The ball is outside 1-0 and almost lost in the dirt by Rivera. You really want to be careful if you're a pitcher. If you throw a wild pitch, that ball is likely not coming back because the backstops here at the Jack might as well be a mile away from the catcher.
We've seen that haunt a lot of pitchers out here early this season.
We saw it haunt Stetson on last Tuesday, and we saw it haunt Mississippi Valley a couple times on Friday night. This time Hall does not square to bunt, and he hammers it to center field. Going back, Brutcher to the track, to the wall. It is off the wall. 1 run scores. It's Tuero from second. It's an RBI double for Highland Hall, and the game is tied. He missed a home run by a few inches.
And with the white banner out there in left center there, thought that one might have squeaked over, but just off the top of the wall. That's what you'd expect from a guy like Highland Hall, a big bat in the middle of this Wildcats order.
And now here's Pena, who is someone who can let the ball fly. This middle of the order is really where all the power is for Bethune-Cookman. He's first pitch swinging and lifts this one to shallow right. Nice throw by Cantu to hold the runner at third. Chun does not budge, and there's one away. And now it's Robert Moya. This inning has gone by pretty darn fast, even though the Wildcats put their first 3 runners on and have a tying run in already.
Just more of that aggressive approach at the plate still. With the success, Wildcats are swinging early, not working a lot of long counts, not taking a lot of first pitches. A lot of offering up for the Wildcats here at the plate.
And maybe it was just seeing Gailey one time through the lineup. The righty deals. Strike on the inside corner, 0-1. We know if a pitcher makes a mistake, Robert Moya is probably the biggest guy on this lineup that'll make you pay for it. Fastball outside, 1-1. Chun on third, Hall on second after the RBI double, 1 man out in the inning. And the 1-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, sir. And it's 1-2. Moya just not able to hold off on the breaking ball.
Moya definitely chief among the free swingers on this Wildcat squad.
Gailey rides and fires. Hit to the left side. This could be trouble, and it lands foul just inside the Budweiser bullpen. No play available for Cantu. Count holds 1-2 for Moya. Moya, one of those 6 batters in this Bethune-Cookman starting lineup, hitting over 300. He's hitting 321. Has 1 homer already this week. Almost had a second on Sunday.
He should be very fun to watch when we go to a lot of these more hitter-friendly ballparks across the SWAC.
Inside 2-2. The wind is back. It was gone for about 2 minutes, and now it's blowing straight out to center. Rather lazily, I might add, as there's a storm a little bit north of us in Jacksonville. It's pushing some of this weather south. Upstairs, 3-2. We thought that we may have to delay the start a little bit of this game, but the rain has held off, even though there's some evil-looking clouds hanging over right center field. Here's the 3-2. Outside, and Moya takes his base, and the bags are juiced. First walk of the game issued by Gailey, and maybe we're seeing a little bit of freshman nerves now. He got through the first 9 batters about as efficiently as you can, but now the Wildcats are seeing the ball better, putting it in play. And Gailey looks a bit rattled because he had Moya in an 0-2 count and eventually walked him.
Robert Moya, for all the strikeouts we talk about, is really a picture-perfect example of the modern baseball player. 21 strikeouts to his 15th walk. True three-outcome baseball for Robert Moya, but a powerful bat in that lineup for the Wildcats.
Now here's Irvin Escobar. Fly to center his first time up. He's on with one away in the inning and the base is loaded. Escobar only 8 RBIs on the season. This is his 16th appearance.
Saw him with the triple on Sunday against Mississippi Valley State. One of the more unlikely guys you'd expect to hit one, but hustled his way to it.
He hits this one to left center field, moving over and sliding to make the catch. And they're going to double up Highland Hall at second.
Not much you can do about that one. Tough luck for Highland Hall.
So the run doesn't score, and the Wildcats leave them loaded. 1 run, 3 hits, and they leave them loaded on the double play. Escobar hit that one about as well as you possibly could, but Butcher made an outstanding play in center to end the inning. It's 1-1 as we head to the 5th. To the 5th inning we go, and back to the top of the order for the Bulls. Here's John Montez. He has their only run of the game. Led off the game with a ground rule double on the first pitch. Then was hit by a pitch in the third and was stranded on third after the Bulls left the bases loaded in that inning. Just one of these odd quirks of baseball. In the first 4 innings, the Bulls sent 6 hitters to the plate in the first, 3 in the second, 6 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. So, if the law of averages continues, we're due for a 6-batter inning. Santiago Gomez continues on the mound. The count's 2-1 to Montez. There's a strike in the count, 2-2. There was a time called there.
Somebody left the PA microphone on. It happens to the best of us. Long season.
Couldn't be me. No, I've done it before. Chop foul, and Montez stays alive.
Nice snag over at first base.
That would be Bo Durak, the first base coach for the Bulls. The 2-2. Changeup is lined into left field. Moving over is Stevens, and he calls off Hall to make the catch, 1 away. Again, hard contact for the Bulls.
You look at all the hard contacts, we saw the bases loaded situation early. You probably tell yourself the Wildcats haven't pitched that great tonight, but then you look up, 1 run on the scoreboard, only the 4 hits. Hasn't really come back to bite him yet. Normally when you say things like that or look at it that way, it's doomed to hurt them eventually, but Wildcats cruising so far.
First pitch swinging for Eric Snow, high in the air, not that deep. Stevens makes his second straight catch, 2 away.
Another piece of hard contact, just got a little bit underneath it.
I was all set to tell a nice story about Eric Snow, and it's going to have to wait till the next time he bats.
Seen that for a lot of guys tonight.
I mean, both sides really haven't been that patient. We mentioned it for the Wildcats swinging early in counts, but the Bulls have really jumped on the pitching as well. And here is Drew Butcher. Fly to center, then was hit by a pitch in his first 2 plate appearances. Almost got hit again as the fastball runs inside from Gomez.
Funny that there's just guys in baseball who are just hit by pitch magnets. You see it across the major leagues, and Manny Sufrain's been a guy like that for the Wildcats for a couple of years.
Fastball low, 2-0. This is what you can't really do against a team that's hitting the ball this well like South Florida, is get behind in counts. You're going to have to serve one up. Now it's 3-0. With a guy this dangerous, Butcher 31 hits, 13 RBIs. Here's a 3-0. Right down the middle. Butcher taken all the way, 3-1. Middle infield playing very deep. Here's a 3-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, and it's 3-2.
That's what Santiago Gomez will give you. He's got the stuff to get swings like that from everybody. We've seen it throughout his start to the season.
The Wildcats now expecting that hard contact by playing basically everybody on the infield deep, except the third baseman, Perez. It's chopped toward first. Pena takes it himself. And 1, 2, 3 go the Bulls. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. And a 1-1 ball game right here on the Cat Eye Network. To the bottom of the 5th, we go on a 1-1 ball game here at Jackie Robinson. Wildcats plated Luis Chuero to begin the 4th to tie the ball game up. Caused the first little bit of consternation for Lawson Gailey on the mound. Bounces his first pitch to the plate. It's 1-0. Elevated his pitch count up to 44 through 23 pitches, I believe, in that inning. And he bounces a second one to the plate. This is not cricket, my friend.
For these midweekers, it's always a battle of attrition with these guys who may not necessarily see work on the weekend trying to maintain some bullpen arms.
And again, that's 3 straight. Skip to the plate in front of Jeremy Garcia, who leads this one off. Struck out looking his first time up.
Not giving the Wildcats a chance to be aggressive.
Inside ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk for Garcia. Second free pass applied by Gailey. And now it'll be Brian Perez, who also struck out his first time up. And the catcher, who is still Nelson Rivera, walks out to, he just kind of settle down his freshman pitcher.
Got the freshman lefty Justin Jackson warming in the pen for USF.
And it doesn't matter how many accolades you've won at the high school level, how dominant you were. You step onto this stage, especially with a high major like USF, and it's a different ball game. You're expected to produce immediately. There are no days off. Leadoff man is on again. Garcia leads off at first. Here's Perez. Perez steps out, takes a practice swing, and then stands back in. And the righty Gailey deals. Bunted, first baseline foul, and the count 0-1. Wildcats back to that small ball again. We saw Garrett Chun lay down a beauty last inning and ended up being safe on a bang-bang play. We'll see if Perez squares the bunt again. The third baseman, Sankovic, is playing very far in as they check the runner at first. This is game 9 of a 12-game homestand for Bethune-Cookman. They'll play games 10, 11, and 12 this weekend against Florida A&M. Squaring the bunt again and pulling back to take ball one is Perez. In a series that it's not just BCU versus FAMU. Like, that in itself would be interesting enough, but it is for outright first place as this one is popped up and into the glove of Rivera for out number 1. I'll finish my point on the USF series, but it's for outright first place in the East right now in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Winner of that series will have it.
Students, alums, fans, it'd be a great weekend to show your support for the Wildcats. FAMU always travels well, so it'd be nice to have a great representation of Wildcat Nation here at the Jack.
Here's Malik Stevens, flied out deep to center field his first time up. He swings at the first pitch. This one could be 2, right to the shortstop, Snow. Montez, the first. Double play, and that ends the inning. 6-4-3, and 1-2-3 go the Wildcats. No runs, no hits, none left, and we head to the 6th in a 1-1 ball game. Daniel Cantu leads off the 6th for the South Florida Bulls. He was hit by a pitch, stranded on third in the first, and Singleton was stranded there in the third. It's his third appearance, but his first time facing Santiago Gomez, who's still out there for his third inning of work, has sat down 6 straight South Florida batters. Here's the 1-0. Chop foul, 1-1.
Gomez has looked in command since he got out on the mound. Not every at-bat has been a clean one, but he has looked strong.
And Gomez has been able to do something that Mendez could not, and that is induce soft contact, get a lot of ground balls, lazy flyouts. And I think it's just because his pitches have that late run that Mendez's kind of don't.
When he's missing off the plate as opposed to Mendez, who was missing a little bit over the plate.
Well, and also, as there's a ball inside on a pitch that looked pretty good from up here, but it's 3-1. Gomez's pitches have a tail on them that even if contact is made, it's not straight down the middle. It's always tailing either away or in. Here's a 3-1. Outside ball 4, and Cantu walks. First base runner allowed by Gomez. And first out-and-out walk of the game issued by Bethune-Cookman. Mendez hit 3 batters. Here's Rafael Betancourt, singled and was stranded on first in the second. Flied out to left in the third. With a runner on and nobody out. Swung on, it hit high in the air, center field. Moving over Chun in front of Stevens, to make the catch, and there's one away. There's been a lot of that. High fly balls, both hard and lazy, out to the outfield tonight.
And another one on the first pitch. Both sides being aggressive.
That is, by my count, the 9th put out by the Wildcat outfield today. Here's Travis Sankovic. Lined it foul just over the glove of Perez, and I'm guessing now Perez is lucky that he didn't tap that on his glove on the way through.
It was probably an inch above the glove of the jumping Boris Pena, tall guy.
Correction, Pena, not Perez. Wrong side of the diamond. Sankovic grounded to Perez unassisted first time up. No, flied to Perez unassisted first time up. And then grounded to Pena his second time. That time it's down the line and foul again in the exact same spot.
Baseball.
I'm going to revise my statement. Sankovic flied to first and was caught in foul territory by Pena his first time up. Then he grounded to first, and Pena took it unassisted to end the third inning. That's Stankovic's time. Now he's hit the ball twice.
Right over to him.
To Pena again. Really big pull hitter. And you can see how Hall is shaded way to the right towards the line. Outside 1-2. Santiago Gomez up to 33 pitches in 2 1/3 innings of work. Here's the 1-2. Foul away, the count holds. I will say this about the USF batters. After the first time through the order, they really have settled down and are working these deep counts. We've seen a lot of 3-2, 2-2 with a couple of foul balls.
Fortunately for them, it hasn't worked out in their favor.
One on with Cantu on first. And Gomez deals out of the stretch. Hit off the end of the bat. There's a base hit to left field. And it's first and second with 1 out.
First kind of opportunity for some challenge for Gomez on the mound. See how he works with runners on first and second.
Here's Brodell. Grounded to first in the second and struck out swinging in the fourth, which was the first batter that Gomez faced. So he has now faced all 9 Bulls hitters. Two on, 1 out. Would love a ground ball double play here. Gomez deals. Outside 1-0. There hasn't been a lot of them turned this year by Bethune-Cookman, only 7. So not a lot of opportunities for the Wildcats to turn 2. Whereas there's already been 2 double plays for the Bulls tonight, taking their total number up to 25. Brodell stands back in the count 1-0. Gomez from the stretch. Checks the runner at second, now deals. And away outside, the ball skips away from Escobar, and the runners will advance on the wild pitch. And that takes away the double play ball with second and third now 1 out.
Maybe seeing a little bit of pressure for Gomez there with the runners on. And some danger here now.
Marcus Brodell, a sophomore from Dunedin. The Blue Jays have their spring training home and also their single-A minor league team.
Nice little facility down there.
Strike called outside corner, 2-1. So that outside corner has been there sometimes and has not been there other times. Gomez gets a swing from Brodell, and it's 2-2. There's a pitch in the dirt that really Brodell had no business chasing after. But he went around, and now Gomez one pitch away from a huge second out of the inning. In the dirt, 3-2. Brodell, a 276 hitter last year, 2 homers, 11 RBI as a freshman. Maybe looking to get some RBIs of his own right here. This will do it. It's in the air to left. Tracking it down is Chun. Tagging from third and coming home is Cantu. And the Bulls take the lead 2-1.
Not the worst result if you're Gomez. Keeping it to just the 1 run. Still 2 runners on. We'll see what we look like with 2 outs under our belt.
So now 2 out, 1 on. Here's Jackson Mayo. He's flying to right both times. Mayo, a sophomore product of Bowles High School. Always an athletic powerhouse in pretty much anything they play, the Bulldogs. Hits this one to center. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times, but all 3 times been right to a Wildcat outfielder. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Bulls restore the lead. It's 2-1. Two changes defensively for the Bulls of South Florida as we hit the bottom of the 6th inning. Luis Tuero leads off in his 3rd at-bat. Fly to center his first time, singled and scored the Wildcats' only run in the 4th. And he is the first batter to face Justin Jackson, a freshman from Naples, Florida, graduate of Seacrest Country Day High School. He works quickly, and Tuero chops this one to first. Betancourt takes it himself, and there's 1 away.
Wildcats really settled in after seeing Gailey that first time through. We saw a lot of very aggressive approach to the plate. I was going to question whether that approach would continue with the reliever in, and it seems like that's the case.
Here's Garrett Chun, fly to right, and then Singleton was stranded on 3rd in the 4th. Jackson's numbers on the mound. He's got the highest ERA of all qualified players, which means they've pitched over 12 innings. He's 0-1 with a 9.49 ERA. This one's fouled away and the count's 1-1. In 10 appearances with 1 start, he's allowed 19 hits, 13 runs, all earned, with 12 strikeouts to just 3 walks and 2 hit batters. Count 2-1 to Chun. Lazy curveball inside corner, strike 2-2. Ben Rosenblum is behind the plate for the Bulls, replacing Nelson Rivera. He'll bat 9th. We did know before the game that Rivera was not going to play the entire game. He's still recovering from an injury, and Rosenblum is the everyday starter. This one chopped to second. Montez, an easy throw over, and there's 2 away.
That was only the second full count worked by a Wildcats batter tonight. Moya held the other one.
Here's Highland Hall. Grounded out to third in the first. Doubled in Tuero in the 4th, and then was doubled up after a fantastic catch by Brutcher in center.
Certainly don't blame Hall on for any kind of base running error for that play.
Well, yeah, if Brutcher drops that, the Wildcats score 2 runs. Count 1-0 as the first pitch is inside. Wildcats have Gabriel Perez working in the bullpen, have had him there for the last inning and a half or so.
We saw Santiago Gomez's delivery and his approach really slow towards the end of the last inning. I'd anticipate he's done for the evening.
Hall takes a pitch upstairs on a 3-0 count, and he's aboard with a 4-pitch walk. Second 4-pitch walk issued by the Bulls. The first one was to Jeremy Garcia to lead off the 5th. Justin Jackson is another guy with high school numbers that sound like they're from a video game. 27 wins with a 1.07 ERA and 264 strikeouts.
I imagine that's not over 1 season, is it?
No, that's 4 years.
Okay.
At Seacrest Country Day, but he was a 3-time first-team All-State. And also a varsity basketball player for Country Day as well. He looks it. He's 6'2" and lean as you can be. Count 1-0, and they check Hall at first. This is Boris Pena. Pena struck out of the second, flied out to center in the 4th to start the double play that doubled up Highland Hall. No, correction, he flied out to right in the 4th, and it was not the double play. Escobar started the double play. And Rosenblum, after 6 straight balls, goes out to talk to his pitcher. And again, my point stands about freshman pitchers at the college level, especially at a program like USF that have a history of competing at the highest level.
Of course, the message for the Wildcats at the plate all weekend against Mississippi Valley State was get this one to the bullpen and you'll have a chance. That's exactly what happened. Looks like it's trending that way tonight. We
shall see. 1 on, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Inside 3-0, 7 straight balls. It's certainly a worrying trend for head coach Billy Mole. Here's the 2-1. Inside for a strikeout. It's 2-2.
For all the free swinging for the Wildcats early, haven't given much of a choice but to watch some fly by here.
Hall goes on a 2-2 count. No play for the catcher as the ball pops out of Rosenblum's glove. Give a stolen base to Highland. And there's a runner on second with 2 down.
Hall's first steal of the season. For an athlete like him, it may be a bit surprising. But
that is surprising.
But the approach at the Wildcats this season has just been a different one than last year.
Pena fouled down the third base line, out of play.
Of course, the MO for the Wildcats a lot last season, Malik Stevens in that leadoff spot. Many an inning of him walking or working a single and stealing a lot of times on the first pitch.
Now Malik Stevens batting the 9 hole. It's the 3-2 to Pena inside ball 4, 2 straight walks. And now 2 on, 2 out. Here's Robert Moya. Grounded to the shortstop in the second, walked in the fourth, and was stranded there.
Number 31, Robert.
Lead the Wildcats in walks, does Moya.
Hall on second. Pena on first, breaking ball strike to Moya. But do not be surprised if some of these freshman pitchers we have seen tonight for USF go on to be, if not household names, certainly names to watch in the professional ranks. As in the 6 years that Billy Mole has been the coach at South Florida, he has had 16 pitchers drafted. Oh, right back to Jackson on the hill. Nice glove work by the freshman to put it away to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We go to the 7th inning of play. Bulls still with a 2-1 advantage. Top of the 7th we go. The Bulls lead at 2-1. And the 9-hole hitter, Ben Rosenblum, is in, replacing Nelson Rivera at catcher. Santiago Gomez still on the mound for the Wildcats, and he gets Rosenblum to swing and a miss for strike 1. Rosenblum is a .214 hitter with 19 appearances on the season. 6 runs on 9 hits, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. He flies this one to right field. Hall moves over near the line to make the catch, and there's one away.
It's good to see Gomez back to working quickly with more of a rhythm on the mound to start this inning. He was really laboring towards the end, shaking off a lot of pitches. Overall, didn't look nearly as confident as we'd seen him to start this outing. Overall, though, he's been strong for the Wildcats in relief tonight.
Long middle innings guy is something the Wildcats really haven't shown a lot of this year. This one hammered out to right center. That's too long of a run for Stevens to get to. Digging for second is John Montez, and he gets there standing up. Really nice night for Montez, as that's his second double of the game.
Interesting enough, the right fielder Hall just stood there. Didn't take a single step once the ball was off the bat. Surprised not to see him over there trying to back it up or potentially run it down on his own. Definitely out of his reach, too, just with how hard that ball was hit. But he planted his feet.
Montez now 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 doubles, increasing his .315 batting average on the season. And now here's Eric Snow. Snow 1 for 3 with a single. He was caught stealing in the first for the first out of the inning. Then he grounded it to third base and fly to center. He's on with Montez on second and one man out in the inning. Gomez deals away outside, 1-1. This is the start of a 4-game road trip for South Florida. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they will head to Orlando to play their arch rivals, the University of Central Florida. So it's rivalry week in the Sunshine State as they're playing UCF and we're playing FAMU.
Fun weekends at some ballparks around the state. Hard to beat it. Some long stare downs of Gomez at Montez at second.
But Chuero's not really holding him on. I think that pitch missed inside. It did. 2-2. Snow has struck out 20 times this season in 78 plate appearances. And this time he'll get one more as that one's upstairs to run the count full.
Just over 50 pitches is Gomez now.
Perez still warming up in the bullpen. Probably will see him in short order, maybe this inning if things go sour, or maybe next inning if it doesn't. But there's a walk issued to Snow. 2 straight Bulls get on, and it's first and second with 1 down. And here is the ever-dangerous Drew Butcher. As Coach Hernandez takes a long look at his pitcher and leaves him in the game. To face the hard-hitting lefty. He's flying to center, grounded to first, and was hit by a pitch in the ball game. Outside 1-0. We've got other SWAC action around the southeast tonight. We'll look at maybe in between innings and get you some scores. Long stare down. And here's the 1-0, popped high in the air towards the bullpen, and that'll bounce off the top of the clubhouse. Counts 1-1. The matchups are thus. We're home against South Florida. Alcorn State is hosting Southeastern Baptist. Alabama State hosting Troy. And then the 3 teams that are away, Arkansas, Pine Bluff at Memphis, Southern at McNeese State, and Grambling State at LSU. Here's the 1-1, fouled straight back 1 and 2.
Of course, SWAC football poking around again as the spring starts to open across the league. Wildcats' first spring practice was yesterday. We'll be back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. First open practice of the season will be April 8th down at Daytona Municipal Stadium. So if you got that itch for some SWAC football, we'll see you out there.
Upstairs 2-2. And if you have not been on to bcuathletics.com to read the really wonderful piece that Dan Ryan wrote about Coach Woody's first day on the job as head coach, you really should. It's a wonderful little expose of what we should expect to see from Wildcat football this spring. Count runs full for the second straight batter as Gomez mitches up and in.
Of course, Pro Day for the program was out at the stadium today. Highlighted, of course, by Kamari Averett, the tight end. For the Wildcats.
Full count, here's the payoff. Chopped off the hands and floating over the head of Garcia at short. Holding at third is Montez. It's a little bloop single for Butcher, and the bases are loaded with 1 down. This is the 3rd time the Bulls have loaded him up tonight.
And with only 2 runs to show for it thus far, you think it's only a matter of time before that changes. Coach Hernandez going to leave Gomez in. Certainly tough to bring Perez or anyone for that matter in a situation like this.
Here's Daniel Cantu. Was hit by a pitch and was stranded on third in the first. Hit by a pitch and stranded on, or excuse me, singled and stranded on first in the third. and walked, and then eventually came around to score on the RBI single by Sankovic in the 6th, and that gave the Bulls their current 2-1 lead. But Cantu has been stuck on the base paths in both of the previous times the Bulls have loaded him up. The 1-0 from Gomez. Chop foul, 1-1. And then, of course, you've got some Wednesday SWAC action as well. Troy, Busy Bees, they've got games on back-to-back days. At Alabama State on Tuesday, then at Florida A&M on Wednesday. Jackson State hosts Tougaloo, and Mississippi Valley travels to southeastern Louisiana. This one hit hard down the line. It's going to get down and 2-hop to the wall. 1 run scores, that's Montez. Here comes a second, that's Snow. And it's a 2 RBI double for Cantu, and the Bulls have broken the game open. It's 4-1.
Say that'll probably do it for Gomez, although no immediately trot out to the mound by Coach Hernandez. He's been strong for a majority of the night, but we've seen him struggle a bit as hitters have gotten on base. Slower delivery, constant checking on the runner, as here comes head coach Johnny Hernandez.
And that'll probably be it for Santiago Gomez. Did pretty well. Sat the first 6 Bulls he faced down, and before this inning had only given up 1 hit. But unfortunately, a walk and then 3 straight hits has given the Bulls a 3-1 lead, and we are going to see Gabriel Perez come to the mound.
And Gomez will walk off the mound shaking his head a little bit frustrated with the results of this inning, but I still think he's earned himself a look as a potential upgrade to a regular in the weekend bullpen, if not at the very least a stalwart here on Tuesday nights.
Now pitching for your Wildcats, number 40, Gabriel Perez.
Especially as the Wildcats continue to struggle to identify a strong option at middle reliever, as we've seen a handful of guys struggle to start the season.
Gabriel Perez in to pitch. He's 2-1 in 9 appearances with 10 innings pitched. He's got a .630 ERA. He has allowed 10 runs on 14 hits, 7 earned, with 9 strikeouts and 2 walks. He has given up 3 home runs. Perez, a sophomore from Pembroke Pines, Florida. He played his ball at Western Senior High School. And then he appeared in 15 games as a freshman last year for this squad. And now with runners at second and third and only 1 man out in the 7th, he's got a pretty big task to keep this one at a manageable game for the Wildcats.
The way the Wildcats have seen the ball at the plate tonight, the way they've hit, certainly not out of the realm of possibility that they could pull even again in this one. But to do that, they're going to need some help here from the guy on the mound.
The Wildcats have only had 3 hits. It's been tough looking against the Bulls pitching. Their really only inning where they had anything going was the 4th, and that's where they hit 3 singles or back-to-back-to-back. And those were their 3 hits. Everything else has been via the walk, as 4 Wildcats have got on base via the free pass tonight. First batter to face Gabriel Perez will be Rafael Betancourt. Betancourt singled in the first, and then flied to left his next 2 times up. Infield playing way in, and he hits this one high in the air, foul into the grandstands down the left field line. Betancourt, the local from Deltona, Florida. He stands in and takes a bouncer to the plate for ball 1. And the game, which had been moving at a really quick pace for the first 6 1/3 innings or so has slowed to a crawl. And, well, Bryce, that's baseball for you.
It's only a matter of time.
Here's the 1-1. Inside, no call on the fastball, 2-1. Perez has a stinging fastball when he lets it go, can hit the low 90s. Clocked up at around 92, 93. Here's the 2-1. This time a changeup poked into left field. There's a base hit. Brutcher scores from third. Cantu moves to replace him as the 4th straight base hit for the Bulls plates their 3rd run of the inning, and it is 5-1.
A couple of bloopers have been the difference here in this inning, but you get them any way you can, and the Bulls have done just that, keeping this inning alive, keeping the lineup moving.
Here's Travis Sankovic. Popped out to first, grounded to first, and then singled and was stranded on second of the 6th. And he's got runners on the corners with only 1 down. He turns to bunt. He lays it down. Here comes the runner, and it's foul.
Squeak just outside of that right side batter's box.
Tough luck for the Wildcats because they had Cantu dead to rights. Halfway between third plate and home. They try the whole squeeze play. Don't think they'll try that again. Here's the 0-1. Perez out of the stretch deals. Runner goes to second. Here's the throw down, and way out is Betancourt. And that's the 2nd batter caught stealing for Escobar tonight behind the plate.
Escobar's had a handful of those thus far this season. I don't know if it was a bad jump at first or Betancourt, or maybe just a better throw. Escobar had him out by a good 3 or 4 feet.
Cantu holds at third. Here's the 1-1. Tipped into the glove, and the count 1-2.
Certainly, if you're Perez on the mound, a little caught stealing is a great way to bring some energy back and feel like you can get out of this inning. Whereas beforehand, it may start to look a little dark.
Speaking of looking dark, the sun has gone below the horizon. The floodlights are on here. Chopped in fair territory. No play for anybody, and it's going to stay fair. It's going to stay fair. Unbelievable. Oh, they called it foul. Did they call it foul or fair? They called it fair. And Cantu scores from third, and it's 6-1. Not much you could do about that.
Swinging bunt from Sankovic. Looked like it was going to roll just over that line, about halfway down to third base, and a lump in the turf for whatever reason. It scooted just back inside, and like you said, best you can do if you're the Wildcats is hope that one rolls foul, because with the slow rolling nature of it, not a whole lot you can do.
I thought the home plate umpire, Terrell Poole, he put his hands up in the air. I thought he was calling it a foul ball.
Not sure how you could make that call. It was very clearly, at least from up here, inside that line.
Now with 4 in the inning, Bulls up to 10 hits. Ball outside, first pitch to Marcus Brodell. Brodell grounded to first, struck out, and fly to left. He's 0 for 3. Righty to righty to the 1-0. Fouled away. Into the river it goes. 1-1.
Luckily for us, the dangerous looking clouds have all but dissipated at this point. Still some clouds in the sky, but nothing threatening.
I think it spitted a bit around first pitch time. But other than that, it's just kind of been a normal spring Florida afternoon. Very humid. Not a lot of wind. The air feels very heavy, and maybe that's why there's been a lot of fly balls that have died just in front of the track. Nothing to help it carry on its way out there.
Quite the opposite of what we've seen pretty much every week to start the season.
The 1-2 in the dirt. 2-2. 6 straight Bulls have reached base, 5 via the base hit. And 1 walk in between. Perez deals. Inside almost hit him, count runs full. I mentioned after today that the Bulls will head to UCF for a 3-game series over in Orlando. 3-2 from Perez, runner goes. Chop foul, third base side. And the count holds. After that, they've got a bit of a 5-game homestand as they play North Florida on April 4th, a 3-game AAC series against Tulane that pitched Coach Mole against his alma mater, and then the rematch as that ball is hammered in the gap in right center field. Rounding second, going to third is Sankovic. He'll hold there. Sliding into second with a double is Brodell.
You know, Mike, we talked about it pregame. The way the Bulls have played throughout their schedule thus far, all they've really needed is one big inning to get on top of these teams, and they've done exactly that. What went from a close game you thought the Wildcats could potentially scrape by has gotten ugly quickly.
On Sunday, they scored 15 runs against Virginia Commonwealth and lost 25-15 in an ugly game.
Of course, it's kind of a harsh turn for the Wildcats, who did the same thing in reverse to Mississippi Valley State over the weekend. Kind of just needed 1 or 2 big innings to jump on top of the Delta Devils.
This very much seems like one of those games, either Saturday or Sunday against Mississippi Valley State, just in reverse, where once they got to our bullpen, and I'm counting later inning Gomez as the bullpen here, but once they got to the bullpen, it's been all Bulls. And this has been a long sit for Justin Jackson, the Bulls reliever, who came in, faced 5 batters, put 2 runners on, but didn't give up a run, and now he's been sitting for almost 40 minutes, I'd guess, at this point. The 2-0 from Perez, swing and a miss at a changeup. This is Jackson Mayo, by the way. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times, flying out to right twice and to center once. In the dirt, 3-1.
Mayo, one of only 2 Bulls tonight to not record a hit. I believe the only one who has not reached base yet.
Well, Nelson Rivera did not reach base before he left. And then Rosenblum has not. Swing and a miss from Matzo, and there's 2 strikes, count runs full, another full count of the inning. By my count, the 3rd.
We want to avoid things getting really ugly here. Perez is going to have to throw a nice one here.
3-2, 2 outs. High in the air, left side, into left, not deep. Standing under it is Chun. He makes the catch to end the inning. The Bulls send 9 to the plate, and they get 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 6-1 Bulls. Irvin Escobar leads off the 7th for the Wildcats. Has flied to center both times. He has been at the plate tonight. He faces a new Bulls pitcher. This is Nolan Hootie. He's 1-2 in 7 appearances with 5 starts, with a 5.79 ERA. In 23 and a third innings pitched, he's given up 20 runs on 30 hits, 15 earned, with 28 strikeouts and just 6 walks. Here's the 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1.
He slipped off the mound, lost his footing on his plant foot. Doesn't look any worse for wear. That's always scary.
The 1-1 drill back up the middle past the diving glove of Montez. And the Wildcats once again have the lead off man aboard.
You know, the Wildcats have only left 4 men on base tonight, only registered 4 hits, but yet it still seems like they've left a couple go that they should have had.
Well, there was the nice diving play by Butcher in center that probably would have scored 2 runs if that ball had gotten down in front of him. So that's really the big missed opportunity. I'm not sure if you can call it a missed opportunity. It might be the defensive play of the season we've seen here at Jackie Robinson. It was a fantastic catch.
It's certainly interesting to think about what the outlook of the evening would look like if that had gone the other way.
That would have given the Wildcats a 3-1 lead at the time. But there's no point in looking at what didn't happen. All that you can do is look ahead. The count is 1-0 to Jeremy Garcia. And Hootie deals. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Garcia struck out looking in the 3rd, walked and was stranded on 1st in the 5th. Working quickly, the 1-1. Chop foul, 1-2. Wildcat fans, Pepsi is a proud sponsor of Bethune-Cookman University. Make sure to visit the concession stands located behind the grandstands. Grab an ice-cold Pepsi product today, like a refreshing Gatorade. Pepsi, a proud supporter of the Cats. Hootie, the lefty, checks the runner at first, deals the 1-2. It's a breaking ball hit in the air to center field. Coming on is Butcher, and he makes the catch on the move, and there's one away. Butcher's been a busy bee out there in center field. That's his 5th putout. And, of course, his nice diving play started the double play back to end the 4th inning. Here's Brian Perez, 1 on, 1 out. He struck out in 3rd and bunted out to the catcher in the 5th. This time he lines it to 3rd. Diving stop by Sankovic. Throws to 2nd for 1. On to 1st. What a play to end the inning. We have seen 2 of the best web gems of the season tonight. Sankovic turns 2, lays out all the way to his left, and ends the inning.
Another aggressive approach by the Wildcats at the plate. Came back to bite them there. They're staying consistent.
No runs, no hits, none left. We go, no run, 1 hit, none left. We go to the 8th. It's still a 6-1 lead for the Bulls. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamondcats on Twitter and at BCU Baseball on Instagram. To the 8th inning we go. South Florida has a 6-1 lead, courtesy of 4 in the 7th. Breaking ball, strike 2. Rosenblum is the first pitch thrown by the new pitcher for the Wildcats, Yoancel Diaz. Diaz in his 8th appearance of the season. No decisions yet for Diaz. 6 2/3 innings, or 6.23 ERA in 8 2/3 innings. This one hit foul into the Budweiser bullpen down the right-hand side. The count's still 0-2. He's allowed 9 runs on 9 hits, 6 earned. Struck out 9 and walked 8. This one upstairs, 1-2. Yoancel Diaz, one of those kids from down south in Hialeah.
Another one of these handful of Wildcats arms that can touch the low 90s with his fastball. Got some heat to it.
Rosenblum came in replace of Nelson Rivera in the 7th. And he chops this one to short. Tough play for Tuero, but he gets it over to first. And there's one away.
Tuero been serviceable for the Wildcats, as you'd expect out there, taking over for Colton Olison as he continues his rehab from a little bit of some back spasms.
You were talking to Coach Hernandez before the game. We may see Colton back this weekend, but not very likely.
If it were his choice, he'd be out there on Friday. I'm not sure the coaches will share that optimism.
And putting this result aside tonight, it was a competitive game up until the 7th inning.
Be important for the BCU Bats to stay locked in and get prepared for the weekend series, a critical one like you said earlier.
This one hammered down the first baseline foul, as you heard a big sigh from John Montez. Montez has been the hot bat tonight for USF. 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, and a hit by pitch is in his 2 for 3 outing tonight. Here's the 1-1. Inside corner, fastball 1-2. The end of my point is that maybe it's not good to break up a lineup that has been performing very well over the past 2 weeks, even with Olison out. Breaking ball that is hammered down the line and right. Hall misplays it, but throws in time to keep Montez at first. Montez, 3rd hit of the game for him. He came into the game with a team-leading 315 RBI. That number is going to go way up after this one, as here's Eric Snow.
Nearly the same pitch from Diaz to Montez there, the one he pulled foul the first time through. Stayed back on it. Hit it right out of the right.
Montez a threat to run it first, especially with Diaz delivering these slow breaking balls like that one that misses outside for ball 1. The 1-0, fastball, hit in the air, and a base hit to right field. And everybody holds up after taking just 1 base, and here we go again. So in the last inning, Montez doubled, Snow walked, and that started that big rally for the Bulls, and now they're both on base again.
And maybe the #1 goal if you're the Wildcats, especially for this bullpen, is to keep some arms away from the field at this point. We need Diaz to really settle in and get into a groove, finish this one out, if at all possible, because you never know what kind of arms you're going to need in a rivalry series like we have up on deck this weekend.
Diaz in his sophomore season last year only appeared on the mound 2 times. Pitched 3 innings on 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. Breaking ball, swing and a miss from Drew Brutcher. Runners stay where they are if the ball bounced away from Escobar. used mostly as a pinch runner for the Wildcats last year, scored 4 runs.
Kind of a man without a position last year, settle into the role on the mound this year. Won't really get to show off those wheels on the mound. Instead, opting to show off the arm.
The former Miami Springs product. He can swing the bat, too. Had a .520 batting average his senior year of high school. Here's the 0-1. In there for a strike, 0-2. The 0-2, runner goes. The throw down to third is beautiful, but he's safe.
That was a close call at third. I thought from up here that he was out by an inch or so with the glove of Perez just sneaking in there before his foot could touch the bag.
And Hernandez is out to talk to Ed Mayhew, the third base umpire. Looked from our angle like he got him.
Of course, with this official making the call, not exactly in the best angle to see that, somewhat behind the play. But I don't think we have seen a call at the jack overturned with the lack of video replay. So as much as Hernandez can plead his case, he'll have to head back unsatisfied.
Now runners on the corners, 1 down. The count is 1-2 to Brutcher. Brutcher flying to center, hit by a pitch and was stranded on second. Grounded to first and then singled and scored in the 7th. These two teams meet again to complete a home-and-home series in Tampa on April 11th, so 2 weeks from now. So we'll see the Bulls again in short order. Diaz nods, and the 1-2. Breaking ball outside corner, 2-2.
For the Wildcats pitchers, things have slowed to a grind here with every pitch. Staff that traditionally works very quickly has been quite slow in the last few innings. Very deliberate with their approach to the plate.
Way upstairs, the count runs full again. I've not been tracking full count at bats this game, but it feels like it's approaching double digits.
Funny enough, I think prior to the 5th inning, we maybe had 1 combined between the two squads.
Diaz is 3-2. Runner goes down to second. Escobar, no throw. And Snow will trot over there with a stolen base. Now second and third, again, takes away the double play ball. Oh, no, it was ball 4. Excuse me. Forgot the count was 3-2. Either way, the bases are loaded for Daniel Cantu. Cantu had a 2 RBI double in the 7th and scored himself on the single by Betancourt. Previous to that, he was hit by a pitch and stranded on third in the 1st, singled and was stranded on 1st in the 3rd, and then walked and scored in the 6th. So Cantu's had a very productive day at the plate, as have most of the USF Bulls.
Here comes Wildcats pitching coach Joel Sanchez. Have a chat with his guy on the mound.
The Bulls have really come alive over the last couple of games offensively. In the first 12 games of the year, they were 3-9, averaging 5.6 runs a game. And over the past 6 games, they've gone 3-3 and only scored 13 total runs. The pitching has been up and down for the Bulls as well. Early on, they were at 7.45 TM ERA. That lowered down to a 3.33 But then last week against VCU, they gave up 27 runs in 3 games with a team ERA of 13.3. But they've got it back together tonight and only allowed 4 hits and a run against the Wildcats.
And, of course, if you are the BCU staff, looking at the 8 men left on base for USF, they were a couple pitches away from this getting much worse than it's ended up.
First pitch, a swinging strike to Cantu. John Montez stands on third. He'll play his former team this weekend as he's a South Florida transfer, or is he a Central Florida transfer? Diaz deals in the dirt, 1-1. Bases loaded, the 1-1. Inside 2-1. Diaz has got to find the strike zone here. There are arms warming up in both bullpens as we play here in the top of the 8th. Diaz is 2-1. Hammered past the glove of Pena, down the line, fair. That's going to get to the corner. Montez scores. Snow scores. Rounding third is Butcher. He scores all the way from first. It's a bases-clearing 3-run double for Cantu. And it is 9-1 South Florida.
We've seen the Bulls abuse that corner over there and right. Another one skipped just inside that line and bounced into that long open corner, as is both sides of the field here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. And a game that was close only a few innings ago has gotten well out of hand for the Wildcats. 14 hits for the Bulls now.
This was a 2-1 game at the end of the 6th inning.
An hour later, find ourselves down a few more than that.
7 runs in the last 2 innings for the Bulls, and it's all been the top of the order. This one hit high in the air in foul territory towards the BCU bullpen. Nobody's going to have a play as it hits right off the warm-up rubber. We saw Mims from Mississippi Valley State yesterday trip over that mound trying to make a play on the ball. Thankfully, he wasn't hurt.
Always have to be cognizant of where you're running over there, especially on that left field side. You have the Budweiser bullpen on the right field side to kind of work as a buffer there, but if you're not careful, you can very easily hurt yourself.
Diaz's second pitch to Rafael Betancourt is outside. It's 1-1. Betancourt singled in the first, and fly to 7th 2 times in the 3rd and 6th. Singled in a run in the 7th and then was caught stealing. The 1-1 foul into the bleachers. 1-2.
Only a combined 4 strikeouts. Both teams tonight. A lot of balls put in play.
Still only 1 out in the inning, the 1-2. Breaking ball hit in the air to center. This will be a long run for Stevens. He makes the catch moving to his right, and there are 2 away.
Stevens, as of last weekend and up until tonight, has been put to work a lot of long runs. There's not a lot of center fielders, especially within the SWAC, that can make plays like that. But the speed and athleticism and ability to track the ball off the bat like Stevens does gives him a good chance of success out there.
Now with Cantu on 2nd and 2 out, here's Sankovic, who made what is probably in contention for the play of the game, a diving play at third, starting a 5-4-3 double play.
Last best chance the Wildcats have had here tonight.
And they had 1 on 2 out with Perez up, and he hit a ball that looked to be headed into left field. Skip to the plate. Escobar cannot corral it in time to stop Katu from advancing. So now the runner is 90 feet away. There's a strike, 1-2. Be important for Diaz to get out of this inning and get to the bottom of the 8th. This one's outside, 2-2. The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2. This is a South Florida team that is just 2 seasons removed from one of the best seasons in program history in 2021. They won the AAC Conference Championship. It was their first conference title since 1996, back when they were in the Conference USA. Swing and a miss by Sankovic, and finally the side is retired. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Now a 9-1 ball game. Fourth pitcher of the game for the Bulls of South Florida, and the 3rd new pitcher in the last 3 innings. This is Caleb Punzek.
Number 9, Malik Stevens.
Malik Stevens leads off from the 9-hole spot. Punzek, a junior from Groveland, Florida, in the Orlando area, prepped at Southlake High School. Punzek, no decisions as of yet, with a 4.76 ERA. Second pitch outside, 1-1. In 14 of the 3rd innings pitch, he's given up 8 runs on 14 hits, 8 earned with 16 strikeouts and 6 walks. That one misses low, 2-1. Stevens swings and misses at a ball low, and it's 2-2. And you said in between innings that the Wildcats would likely come out, be aggressive again, swing the bat early. 2-2 to Stevens, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Maybe more so if you're the Wildcats, the aggressive approach here is to get out of here as quickly as possible, but doesn't diverge too much from what they've been doing all night.
Only the 5th strikeout of the night for Bulls pitching. It's been very defense-focused
Luis Tuero.
for the Bulls tonight. A lot of balls hit in play. The Wildcats have just not been able to make it count. Now back to the top of the order, Luis Tuero. They say he swung at that first pitch. It's a strike, 0-1. Breaking ball slider, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Every pitch this inning has been swinging for the Wildcats.
This one way outside as Punzak misses his spot. Back out of high school, Punzak was the number 22 pitching recruit in the state of Florida, according to Perfect Game. This one misses outside again, 2-2. Last year he made 16 appearances, went 0-1 with an 8.40 ERA. With 17 strikeouts. This one chopped in the hole to first, and it's through into right field for a base hit. Only the 5th hit of the night for the Wildcats.
That was a nice piece of hitting by Tuera to get the head of the bat on that ball. Down towards his knees, but punched it through the right side. Always good to see guys staying locked in, staying true to their approach at the plate as we get towards the end of these games that may be out of hand.
And we have a pinch hitter for the Wildcats. Jason Hodges bats for Chun. In the second spot, he'll play left field. And this one bounces to the plate. And it's 1-0. Hodges, with a 152 batting average in 33 plate appearances. 6 runs on 5 hits. No homers, 3 RBI. And Hodges hammers this one to left and deep. Going back, Mayo. All he can do is watch it go. Adios, amigos. It's the first home run of the season for Jason Hodges off a pinch hit.
Ball was well struck out there to left. That's, again, a credit to Hodges for staying ready on the bench, waiting to hear his number called. A guy who hasn't really been able to get into a rhythm to start this season. Not seen a ton of starts, spot starts at best. Got every bit of that one. Gave the Wildcats a little bit of life here in the 8th inning.
It's 9-3 off of a 2-run bomb in between the old scoreboard and new in left center. And now here's Highland Hall. Not sure it will amount to much with the scoreline being 9-3, but you never know. That one chopped, swinging bunt towards the pitcher's mound, fielding and firing just barely in time is Punzak as he gets hauled out by half a step. Now with 2 away, here's Boris Pena. But a nice moment for Jason Hodges. He got all that one. It was, again, first pitch swinging. He hammered it.
Wildcats up and down the order, staying true to that aggressive approach. We see another pinch hitter here for BCU.
Carlos Oquita. He bats in the 4th spot and will replace Boris Pena at first. Oquita is a .222 hitter, but only 9 at-bats. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, no RBI, or no homers, no RBIs. I'll get there eventually. It's been a long night.
Has been a long night.
2 hours, 17 minutes on the game clock so far. Swinging strike by Oquita, quickly behind 0-2. As Punzak wants to atone for his mistake and get out of the inning. This one hit hard on the ground to Montez at second. Underhand throw to first to retire this side. 2 runs, 2 hits, none left. The Wildcats have played at 2 in the inning, but still trail 9-3 as we head to the 9th right here on the Cat Eye Network. We go to the ninth, potentially last ups for South Florida here. Marcus Brodell leads off. He's 1 for 3 with a double in the seventh. Before that, grounded out in the infield, struck out, and flied out to the left. First pitch from new pitcher Marcos Gamboa for the Wildcats. Gamboa 0-1 with a 7.36 ERA in 11 innings pitched. He's given up 10 runs on 13 hits, 9 earned. Pitch is outside, 2-0. He struck out 11 and walked 8. 2-0, catches the outside corner, 2-1. Two other defensive changes for the Wildcats. As we said in the previous inning, the pinch hitters, Jason Hodges takes over in left. This one's skied in the air, foul, and it's 2-2. So Hodges takes over for Chun in left, and Okita relieves Pena at first. Ground ball to short. Fielded by Garcia. Throws across the diamond to Okita. And there's one away. After all the offense that the Bulls have generated over the last 2 innings, you're kind of thankful for a soft ground out.
Yeah, Gumbo is no stranger to seeing some of the top lineups in the state of Florida. He's seen FIU, UCF, Florida State, Jacksonville. One of these guys who just gets routinely thrown to the wolves on midweekers. But there's a place for that on every roster, especially one in the powerhouse baseball state of Florida.
Fastball strike inside corner to Jackson Mayo. Mayo flied to right, flied to right, flied to center, flied to left. He's the only Bull that has not got on base today.
Probably wouldn't be too upset with his night seeing some of that hard contact. Seen it all night from USF.
Started early in the first inning and hasn't really let up since. But he's quickly behind 0-2. Here's Gamboa's pitch. Didn't catch the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
You know, as we said, Mike, in the early innings, when you see all that hard contact, nothing comes of it, nothing comes of it. You get to these later innings, eventually it generally does have a way of working out in your favor.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Jackson Mayo. Only the third strikeout of the game for BCU pitching. Gomez had 2, and now Gamboa's got 1. Here's Rosenblum. Came into the 7th in relief of Nelson Rivera, catcher. He flied to right and then grounded to second in his 2 plate appearances so far. Wildcat Nation, BCU softball is back at Sunnyland Park this weekend for 3 critical SWAC conference series. That one is fouled away. Against Alabama State. Come out and cheer on the Cats Friday at 3 p.m. or Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m. Can't make it to the park, you can check out all the action live on the Cat Eye Network.
BCU baseball, not the only ones who need the support of Wildcat Nation. Get yourself some doubleheaders in, a little softball, then down to the jack.
Big cut and miss from Rosenblum in the count 1-2. Obviously, the brunt of the Cat Eye Network will be here Friday and Sunday for games against Florida A&M. Fouled away. Rosenblum stays alive, 1-2. The Friday game really going to set the tone. We'll see if the Wildcat bats can stay hot against some really good pitching that FAMU has.
Hunter Veets, one of the best in the business in this conference.
Oh, that was a nasty breaking ball. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 from Rosenblum. And for the first time since the 5th inning, 1-2-3 go the Bulls. We head to the bottom of the 9th. It's 9-3. A tall task for the Wildcats awaits in the bottom of the last. We'll see you then on the Cat Eye Network. Bottom of the ninth we go. Wildcats in a 9-3 hole. They've given a good account of themselves tonight, but just not able to overcome the offensive firepower of the University of South Florida, especially in the last couple innings. They jumped over our bullpen. We've got a new pitcher for South Florida to try and close it out. This is Riley Skeen. And we have another pinch hitter for the Wildcats. This is Manny Sufrain. So I've got a lot of stats to get to. First, for Skeen, he's 0-1 in 9 appearances with no starts, a .497 ERA. In 12 and 2/3 innings pitched, he's given up 8 runs on 10 hits, 7 earned, with 15 strikeouts and 4 walks. Sufrain bats this one foul. The count 1-1. Sufrain, only 22 at-bats this season. He's got a .182 ERA with 5 runs on 4 hits. He takes a strike down the middle, 1-2. No homers, 7 RBIs. And Sufrain, the guy who's been in and out of the lineup over the past couple of years. The 1-2, chop foul, count holds.
Sufrain worked himself into that secondary first base option towards the end of last year, splitting time with Boris Pena. Of course, had a multi-homer game earlier this year, both out to right field.
1-2 from Skeen, chop right back to him off his glove. Charging it is Sankovic. He's got no play at first. Sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, and Sufrain is aboard.
Saw Skeen try to stick his glove up and backhand that one up in the air. Probably wasn't a hit even if it bounced over his glove, just too high of a chopper. But a nice effort.
We've seen Justin Jackson already tonight for the Bulls steal a hit away with a nice play on the mound. That time, Skeen could not replicate it. Here's another pinch hitter, Leandro Perez. Takes a strike outside corner, 0-1. Coach Hernandez emptying the benches. The 0-1 upstairs, 1-1. Leandro Perez, only 7 plate appearances previous to tonight. He's got a .143 average, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 homer, and 1 RBI. There's a strike, and the count 1-2.
Perez, a guy we may see worked out as a potential third catcher option now with the injury to George Braceras. I've seen him working a handful down there.
The 1-2. Bounce to the plate, gets away from Rosenblum. Sufrain skips to second on the pass ball. And there's a runner on second with nobody out. Riley Skeen is a junior from Pompano Beach, Florida, and spent his first 2 collegiate seasons at Florida Southwestern State. And a looking strike for 3 for Leandro Perez. And there's 1 away. We're going to see another pinch hitter here for the Wildcats.
Number 39, Derek Cintron.
This is Derek Cintron. Cintron bats in place of Jeremy Garcia in the 7 hole. Cintron, 14 at-bats. He's got a .143 batting average. First pitch to him is hit on the ground to short. Picked by Snow. Across the diamond. 2 away. Sufrain advances to third.
Funny enough, after a night full of stale air, the wind has picked up directly towards us at the press box. Big breeze coming in.
I didn't have time to tell you that Cintron had 1 run on 2 hits, no homers, 1 RBI, and now here is somebody that didn't get changed out. Brian Perez is the potential last man up for the Wildcats with 2 down. Sufrain at third. Perez upstairs, 1-0. That one breaking ball caught the inside corner, 1-1. Now you can probably hear it on the microphone, the wind whipping in from center field. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, and a ball in the dirt. Wildcats are down to their last strike. We'll be back here for the final 3 games of this 12-game homestand on Friday, with the Florida A&M Rattlers coming to town. The 1-2. Perez swings and misses, and that's your ball game. This one goes to the South Florida Bulls. They win it by a final score of 9-3.
Well, you know, Mike, I talked to Coach Hernandez before the game, and the general consensus was if we play well tonight, I'll be happy with it. Well, you may not look at the box score and say it was a well-played game across the board, but there's certainly enough situations the Wildcats can tell themselves. You know, you may have missed one here or there, left only 5 men on base, but particularly a few stellar defensive plays hurt the Wildcats in this one. Otherwise, maybe a few more runs. And you look up and you see a couple of bad innings towards the end, just got out of hand. Always some positives to take away on the baseball diamond, and tonight is no exception to that.
Stellar defense by both Brutcher and Sankovic in center and third base specifically took probably 3 or 4 runs away from the Wildcats tonight by themselves. All you can do is you can take some positives away. You only struck out 4 times tonight, and 2 of those strikeouts were in the 9th inning, both pitch hitting guys who hadn't seen the pitching yet. And you hit the ball, sometimes the ball doesn't drop your way, and the Bulls just kind of jumped on our bullpen a little bit after Mendez and Gomez gave very good accounts of themselves in the first 6 innings of the game.
And we saw a real commitment to this aggressive approach at the plate across the board for the Wildcats. You know, we've seen it a lot this season, but it really didn't waver throughout the entirety of the ballgame. Be interested to see how that approach changes or if it stays consistent heading into a critical series with the Rattlers this weekend.
Final line score for South Florida, 9 runs on 14 hits, no errors. Bethune-Cookman, 3 runs on 7 hits. They also committed no errors. Another positive tonight, as this team has been a little error-prone to start the season. Good to see a 0 in that column. The win goes to Lawson Gailey. The loss to Santiago Gomez. We'll see you on Friday night when the Wildcats take on the Florida A&M Rattlers in a massive conference series. Once again, your final score from Jackie Robinson Ballpark: South Florida 9, Bethune-Cookman 3. For Bryce Wojnowski, I'm Michael Torillo. Thank you very much for watching. Have a very pleasant rest of your evening, and hail Wildcats.